Just 6 seconds after Richard closed his window and pulled his blinds down, the power in his apartment went out and his back window came crashing in. All in an instant, he smelled the girls, and though he swore to never do it again, began to shift. But it was too late. "How you doing?" Aisha said, looking around the living room and spotting his name on the name tag on his uniform. "Richard, where are the girls?" She had grabbed him around his throat, lifting him from his feet. She was mid-changed, him not even enough to gather enough strength to free himself. Hazel came stepping out of the bathroom. Mimi sprang from his bedroom, and Dancer, and when he peeked out from the second bedroom, sniffing around for the Tanyas. They all were full wolf form, Dancer on all fours. Hazel shifted back to her human form and ordered Aisha to release him. She did, dropping him to the floor. Hazel looked him over bitterly. "Fuck are you?" She spat. "And you better not try to shift." Ignoring her question, he frowned. "The mother of all werewolves, huh? You're nothing more than a filthy bitch with an incurable disease." To a human, it would have sounded like Dancer had growled, but to a werewolf, they knew that she'd snickered at Richard's remark. Drool spattered the floor from Dancer's toothy muzzle, and she backed up a little when she saw that Hazel didn't approve of her laughing. "A bitch I am, but you? You will not survive tonight if you do not tell me where those girls are. One was just here a minute ago. Where is she?" Hazel demanded. Richard looked around at his odds, realizing that his odds were all shot to hell. He would die this morning whether or not he told them where to find the girls, and he was certain of it. So, instead of telling them anything or give them the satisfaction of hearing him plead and beg for his life, he decided to accept his fate like the man he was. Hazel raised an eyebrow, expecting him to answer her demands, but instead of answering her, he puckered his lips and spit in Hazel's dark chocolate face. The fact that he'd spat at her face was one thing, but the most humiliating thing to Hazel wasn't the fact that he'd done it out of anger and just hawk spit in her face, but that he'd done it in jest, squirting the goop out of his mouth like a squirt gun. He busted out in stomach-aching laughter when he saw the slime hit her in the right eye and slide down the side of her face. And except for Richard, no one dared laugh this time. Hazel timed her assault. When Richard opened his mouth to let out another obnoxious cry, she whipped forward and snatched his tongue straight out of his mouth. Richard's tongue popped out with a leathery snap, all the way from the back of his mouth. He tried to holler out in pain, but his blood began to pool in his mouth to the point that it flooded over his lips and ran from his nose. The pain was indescribable. All he could do was twitch and hold his throat as his monster cousins huddled around him. Dancer shifted from all fours to her biped stance and was preparing to rip his heart out, but Hazel stopped her. "No," she smiled. "Let him suffer. He will not recover from this." Richard fell flat on his back. The girls, realizing Tanya had recently left, looked him over once more and then headed back out the back window. Just 3 minutes after the Sisterhood had left, Tanya Dandridge and Davis pulled up. They peered around the street, checking for clearance before exiting the car with all their weapons, and then hopped out. But before Dandridge could even inhale a full breath, she smelled Richard's swarm blood thick in the air.